You know the name Dance of the Dragons, that legendary civil war, yeah.
Right.
Ripped a whole realm apart.
Absolutely devastating.
But what if we told you that the roots, the actual seeds of all that bloodshed, were planted way earlier, like during a time of, well, unprecedented peace?
Kel's intuitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what the sources suggest.
So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack the sources you've brought us. We'll trace the family lines, the laws, the personal dramas, all the things that slowly, like step by step, pushed Westeros towards war. Our mission, really, is to show you how seemingly small choices by just two kings, Jaehaerys I and then Viserys I, created this this unstoppable momentum.
Yeah, it's like the snowball effect.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're going way back to an almost idyllic time under Jaehaerys, the king they called the Conciliator. It's fascinating how peace itself can, maybe unintentionally, plant the seeds for its own end.
Exactly. And what's really, really interesting here is how Jaehaerys' success, his long reign, his huge family, actually created what the Meisters call a confusion of claims.
Ah, right. Too many heirs, almost.
Kind of. A very complex web of succession. We're going to explore that and, the unintended fallout from some key royal decisions.
So Jaehaerys I and Queen Alysanne, they ruled for decades. Stability, prosperity, and 13 kids.
13, can you imagine?
Initially, the succession looked totally secure. Solid as stone, the sources say. You had the heir, Prince Aemon, and the spare, Prince Baelon, both, super accomplished guys.
Right. Aemon was Prince of Dragonstone young, knighted young, served as justiciar. Baelon, also knighted young, apparently a healthy rivalry, but they were close. Seemed perfect.
But then the stone cracks, 92 AC. This is where it gets really interesting. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Prince Aemon, the heir, he's just killed out of nowhere. A Myrish crossbow bolt during a skirmish.
Wow. Okay. So sudden vacuum at the top.
Precisely. And King Jaehaerys, he's grieving, but he has to act. He names his second son, Baelon, as the new Prince of Dragonstone, the new heir.
And that went down okay.
Initially, yeah, pretty popular. Baelon was respected. He just avenged his brother. Baelon the Brave, they called him. Seemed like the strong, practical choice.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Always. The unintended consequence. Aemon, the dead prince, he had a daughter, Princess Rhaenys,
Yeah.
described as clever, capable, beautiful, and she was married to Corlys Velaryon the Sea Snake. Big deal. Plus, she was pregnant when her father died.
So Jaehaerys naming Baelon.
He skipped her, bypassed Rhaenys and her unborn child entirely.
Oof. Okay, so what was the king's thinking there? Why do that?
Well, precedent, for one. Aegon the Conqueror ruled over his older sister Visenya. Jaehaerys himself became king over his older sister Rhaen.
Yeah.
So there was history there,
Okay.
and his council, Septon Barth, Grand Maester Elizar, they agreed. Pragmatism, too. Baelon was 35, a seasoned knight. Rhaenys was 18, pregnant. Her child might even be a girl.
Right. And Baelon already had sons.
2 healthy sons, yeah. Viserys and Daemon.
Mm.
Secured the male line. Plus, the small folk just loved Baelon.
Uh-huh. Makes sense from his perspective, maybe. But Rhaenys.
Oh, the descent was immediate.
Yep.
And fierce. Rhaenys herself supposedly confronted the king, touched her belly, said, "You would rob my son of his birthright."
Wow.
Her husband, Corlys, furious, quit his posts, took her off to Driftmark. And Queen Alysanne, Jaehaerys' wife.
She wasn't happy either.
Not at all. That's when she hit him with the famous line, "A ruler needs a good head and a true heart. A cock is not essential."
Okay.
She flew off to Dragonstone, sparked this thing called the Second Quarrel, lasted 2 years. She died, still convinced Rhaenys that her kids were cheated.
And the baby. The boy in the belly.
Turned out to be a girl, Lena, born 93 AC. Her brother Lenore came the next year. But House Velaryon, House Baratheon too. They never stopped believing Lenore, or even Rhaenys, had the better claim.
It's amazing, isn't it? One decision, maybe made for practical reasons.
Ignites a firestorm. It wasn't just family drama. This set a huge controversial precedent about women inheriting. All about gender norms, perceived strength, overriding what some saw as clear birthright.
Okay, so that's the first major fault line. What happens next? Does it calm down?
Not for long. Tragedy strikes again. 101 AC. Baelon the heir, the king's hand, he just dies. Suddenly. A burst belly, they called it.
Wow. So Jaehaerys loses another heir.
Exactly. He's devastated. And now he has a real succession crisis. His last living son is Vaegon, an archmaester. Brilliant, maybe, but totally unsuitable. The dragonless.
So no obvious choice left.
None. So Jaehaerys does something totally unprecedented. He calls a great council at Harrenhal. to let the lords of the realm decide who comes next.
A great council. How big are we talking?
Massive. Like over 1,000 lords showed up. With all their knights, servants, retinues, Harrenhal basically became the fourth biggest city in the realm overnight. A city of tents.
Incredible. So who were the main contenders? I imagine lots of people threw their hats in the ring.
Oh, yeah. 14 claims looked at initially. Some were pretty wild grandsons from Essos, someone claiming to be Maegor the Cruel's bastard. But they got ruled out. Vagon, the Archmaester, ruled out by his vows. Rhaenys and her daughter Lyanna ruled out again because they were female.
Still sticking to that.
Yep. So it boiled down to two main claimants. Jaehaerys Targaryen Baelon's son, Jaehaerys' grandson, and Laenor Velaryon Rhaenys' son, Jaehaerys' great-grandson.
Grandson versus great-grandson. What were the arguments?
Laenor's side pushed primogeniture. He came from the older son's line, Aemon's line, curious descent, you could argue.
Okay. And Viserys?
His camp argued proximity grandson beats great-grandson, male line precedence, obviously. Plus, he was 24, experienced, whereas Laenor was only 7.
A 7-year-old king versus a 24-year-old.
Exactly. And Viserys had apparently ridden Balerion the Black Dread briefly. Big symbolic point.
So the verdict.
Viserys. By a landslide, sources say maybe 20-1, it was decisive.
And this cemented the precedent.
Absolutely. This became known as the Iron Precedent. The Iron Throne cannot pass to a woman, nor through a woman to her male kids. Seniority didn't matter if you were female or descended through one.
Wow. That seems problematic.
Deeply. It was meant to provide clarity, stability, prevent future disputes. But
it obviously didn't work out that way. And Corlys Velaryon, the sea snake, he must have been livid again.
Doubly livid. Let's just pause on Corlys for a second. This guy was extraordinary. Ancient Valyrian blood, oldest allies of the Targaryens. He sailed further than anyone these 9 legendary voyages.
Right, to Yi Ti Ashai, places most people only heard of in tales.
Yeah. Made House Velaryon insanely rich, for a time richer than the Lannisters or Hightowers. Built a new castle, high tide. Huge ambition. And he wanted his kids on the throne. So seeing Rhaenys bypassed, then Laenor, unforgivable for him.
You can really see how this iron precedent meant to solve one problem.
Just tease up the next one, doesn't it? The council thought they'd fixed things, but they totally underestimated the resentment and power of people like Corlys. The seeds are well and truly sown now.
Okay, so Viserys becomes king. Viserys the First, 103 AC. What's he like?
By all accounts, a decent guy.
Yeah.
Generous, amiable, well-liked. His early reign was peaceful, prosperous. Seems like he just wanted everyone to get along.
And he had a daughter he was close to.
Absolutely doted on her. Princess Rhaenyra, his only living child at the time. Called her the realm's delight. She became his cupbearer, got her dragon Syrax when she was just 7. Clearly the apple of his eye.
Sounds nice, but peaceful surfaces often hide things, right? Yeah. Who were the big players at his court?
Definitely. 2 main figures vying for influence, constantly clashing. First, Sir Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King.
Hightower, okay.
Capable administrator, apparently, but also proud, brusque, haughty, clearly ambitious. Wanted his daughter Alysanne to be queen and her sons on the throne eventually. He saw the king's brother Daemon as a massive threat.
And Daemon Targaryen,
yeah.
His brother.
Yeah. The opposite of Otto in many ways. Ambitious, impetuous, moody, a famous warrior, wielded dark sister, commanded the city watch, the Gold Cloaks. But he got bored with ruling, known for harsh justice, womanizing. Had this Lysine mistress, Mysaria.
Sounds like a handful.
Big time. And Daemon definitely saw himself as the rightful heir. He wanted Dragonstone, the title. Resented anyone else being considered, especially Otto Hightower.
So you've got the amiable king, his beloved daughter, and these 2 powerful, ambitious rivals circling. What sparks the next crisis?
Tragedy again, 105 AC. Viserys' wife, Queen Aemma, dies in childbirth. The baby, a son named Baelon, lives only a day.
Oh, terrible. Viserys must have been heartbroken.
Devastated. And then Daemon makes it worse. He's heard drunkenly joking in a brothel about the heir for a day.
Oh, no. That's bad.
Really bad. Viserys was furious. And this seems to be the tipping point. He makes a huge decision. He formally names Rhaenyra his heir, Princess of Dragonstone.
But wait, what about the Great Council, the Iron Precedent?
He ignored it. Completely disregarded it, made hundreds of lords swear oaths to uphold her claim, a direct challenge to what the council decided.
That's massive, setting himself up for conflict right there.
You'd think so. But then things get even more complicated. Viserys remarries.
To Otto Hightower's daughter, Alysanne.
Exactly. Lady Alysanne Hightower, she was only 18. He notably passed over Lyanna Velaryon, the sea snake's daughter, which didn't help relations there.
So the Hand's daughter is now queen. And soon.
Soon she starts having sons. Aegon, born in 107, then Helena, Aemon, Darren later, healthy boys with Targaryen features.
And suddenly, Rhaenyra isn't the only option anymore. There are male heirs whose claim aligns perfectly with the Great Council's precedent.
Precisely. The threat to Rhaenyra's succession becomes very, very real, and the court starts divided. You can literally see it at a tourney in 111 AC for Viserys and Alysanne's 5th anniversary.
Ah, the famous dresses.
That's the one. Queen Alysanne wears green. Princess Rhaenyra wears Targaryen red and black. Her champion, Sir Criston Cole at the time, defeats all the Queen's champions, but those colors stuck. The Queen's party became the greens, the Princess's party, the blacks.
Wow, fashion-defining political factions. And Daemon, where was he in all this?
Furious, Rhaenyra being named heir over him. Unacceptable. He quit the City Watch, flew off to Dragonstone with Mysaria. He even gave her a dragon egg when she got pregnant, which really ticked Viserys off.
Another dragon egg incident.
Yep, Viserys made him send Mysaria away and return the egg, then exiled him.
So Daemon's out. What does he do?
He finds an ally. Who else but Corlys Velaryon, still simmering over being slighted.
Of course. The enemy of my enemy.
Exactly. They launch a private war together, down in the Stepstones, against this group called the Triarchiles, Myr, Tyrush, who were messing with shipping lanes.
So Daemon gets to be a warrior king after all.
Pretty much. He earns real renown down there, kills this pirate called Craggus Crabfeeder, and actually crowns himself king of the Stepstones and the Narrow Sea.
It's just incredible how personal all this is. Viserys wants peace, Rhaenyra is his favorite, Otto wants power for his family, Daemon feels entitled.
It's all deeply human, isn't it? Love, ambition, resentment, grief, all driving these huge political shifts. Viserys trying to keep a lid on it, but the pressure is just building and building underneath.
Okay, so the battle lines are drawn, the factions named, but things are about to get even messier, aren't they? Especially around 120 AC.
Oh, yeah. And this is where our sources really start giving conflicting stories. You've got Septon Eustace, the serious, pious chronicler, and then you have Mushroom, the court fool.
Mushroom, right, loves the gossip, the scandals.
Delights in it. So you, the listener, have to weigh these accounts. How much is truth? How much is embellishment? But they fill in some pretty shocking gaps.
Let's start with the Rhaenyra scandal. What do the sources claim happened?
Well, Mushroom's version is wild. He claims Daemon gave Rhaenyra kissing lessons, taught her other womanly arts, maybe even involved Mushroom himself, took her to brothels dressed as a boy.
Seriously?
According to Mushroom. Then, supposedly, Rhaenyra propositioned Sir Criston Cole, her sworn shield, the honorable knight. Wanted him to take her maidenhead.
Criston Cole, the guy who championed her at the tourney.
The very same. But Mushroom says Cole, being all chaste and proper, turned her down flat. Rhaenyra, furious at the rejection, then supposedly found Sir Harwin Strong breakbones, and he took her virginity.
Wow. Okay, that's Mushroom. What does the more sober Septon Eustace say?
Eustace is more straightforward. He claims Daemon seduced Rhaenyra. They were caught together abed. Rhaenyra begged Viserys to let her marry Daemon, but the king refused and confined her.
So different details, but the core is Daemon and Rhaenyra got involved somehow.
Seems likely. And the outcome, critically, is the same in both versions. Daemon gets exiled again. And Sir Criston Cole's affection for Rhaenyra turns sour, like really sour, loathing and disdain. He becomes her most bitter enemy.
That's a huge shift, from champion to enemy.
Okay, so Rhaenyra's reputation is maybe damaged. What happens next?
Despite all this, in 113 AC, Viserys arranges for Rhaenyra to marry her cousin, Laenor Velaryon.
Laenor, the sea snake's son, the one who was passed over by the Great Council. Yep. Strategic move, heal the rift with Corlys Velaryon, strengthen the Targaryen line on the Velaryon blood. Makes political sense.
Laenor had preferences, didn't he?
It was widely known, yeah. He preferred the company of men. Grand Maester Mel's had that rather blunt take. I do not like the taste of fish, but when fish is served, I eat it.
Charming. Did Rhaenyra object?
She did. Apparently quipped that her half-brothers Aegon and Aemon would be more to Laenor's taste. But Viserys basically threatened to disinherit her and name Aegon heir if she refused, so she married him.
A marriage of convenience, then, and they had children.
3 sons, Jaehaerys, Lucerys, and Joffrey, born between 114 and 117 AC. But they all had brown hair, brown eyes, looked nothing like Laenor with his silver white hair and purple eyes. Or Rhaenyra, for that matter.
Uh-oh. Who did they look like?
Whispers immediately started. They look an awful lot like Sir Harwin Strong. Break bones.
Rhaenyra's rumored lover from the scandal stories.
The very same. The boys became known behind hands as the Strong Boys.
How did Viserys react to that?
fiercely defensive. Absolutely refused to hear it. Decreed anyone calling them Strongs would have their tongues torn out with hot pincers. He insisted they were Laenor's true-born sons. End of story.
But the rumors didn't stop, I bet.
Not a chance. Which brings us to 120 AC, the year of the Red Spring. Just one devastating event after another.
Okay, break it down for us. What happened?
First, Daemon's wife, Lady Lyanna Velaryon, Laenor's sister, dies after a stillbirth. Childbed fever. Famous story, she tried to reach her dragon, Vhagar, one last time before collapsing.
Tragic. Vhagar, that's a big deal dragon, right?
The biggest, oldest, fiercest, belonged to Visenya, Aegon's sister queen, now riderless, then shortly after Lyanna's death.
Leonor dies too.
Yeah. Rhaenyra's husband, Ser Laenor, stabbed to death by his companion, Ser Corral Corey, supposedly in a quarrel, though theories abound jealousy, or maybe Daemon clearing the path.
Convenient timing.
Very. Especially since Rhaenyra and Daemon then married each other quickly, secretly. Mushrooms suggest Rhaenyra was already pregnant with Daemon's child.
Okay, so Lyanna dead, Lenore dead, Rhaenyra and Daemon married. What else happens in this awful year?
At Leor's funeral on Driftmark, Prince Aemon Targaryen, Alysanne's second son, the one who didn't have a dragon yet, he sees his chance.
Vhagar.
He secretly approaches and claims the now riderless dragon, the biggest dragon in the world.
Gutsy move. How did Rhaenyra's sons react?
Not well. Jace, Luke, and little Joff confront Aemon. It turns into a brawl. And young Lucerys, the second son, slashes Aemon's face with a knife, takes out his right eye.
Whoa, an eye for a dragon, almost literally.
Pretty much. The aftermath was intense. Queen Alysanne demanded Luke's eye in return. An eye for an eye, Rhaenyra fired back, demanding to know who dared call her sons Strongs, implying Aemon had.
How did Viserys handle that?
He was stuck. He refused Alysanne's demand, but doubled down on the no calling them Strongs rule. Tongues would be lost. Aemon, though, famously said he lost an eye and gained a dragon that day and considered it a fair trade. He became Aemon One Eye.
Still more tragedy in 120 AC.
One last major one. Lord Lionel Strong, who had become Hand after Otto was dismissed earlier, and his son Sir Harwin Strong.
Break bones, Rhaenyra's alleged lover and the kid's supposed father.
That's him. They both died in a mysterious fire at Harrenhal.
Mysterious. Suspects?
Plenty. The Sea Snake, maybe seeking revenge for Laenor. Daemon, removing a rival for Rhaenyra. Larys Strong, Harwin's own clubfoot brother, to inherit Harrenhal. Even King Viserys trying to clean up the mess. We don't know for sure.
That year, 120 AC. It's just brutal. Laenor, Harwin, Laenor Strong, all dead. Aemon loses an eye but gains Vhagar. Rhaenyra and Daemon finally marry.
It really feels like the point of no return, doesn't it? Decades of peace just unraveling in a storm of personal tragedies, rumors, and violence.
Yeah.
Human choices, grief, ambition, all colliding and accelerating the path to war.
So after all that trauma, what were Viserys' final years like? Did things calm down?
Not really. The king's health started failing badly. He gained weight, had gout, chest pains, often couldn't even leave his rooms. He even stopped sitting the Iron Throne much. Apparently cut his hand badly on it once, lost 2 fingers, became infected.
They're not a good sign. Who was running things day to day?
Increasingly, the small council. And by 129 AC, that council looked very different. Viserys, perhaps wanting familiar support, recalled Sir Otto Hightower as Han.
Otto, Alysanne's father, back as Han.
Yep, big move. And the council became packed with Greens. Otto himself, obviously. Sir Criston Cole, Rhaenyra's sworn enemy, was Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. Larys Strong, the clubfoot who likely benefited from the Harrenhal fire, was Master of Whisperers.
So Rhaenyra's faction had basically no power on the council.
Very little. Grandmaster Orwyle was seen as neutral, and Lord Lyman Beesbury, the Master of Coin, was loyal to Viserys' original declaration for Rhaenyra. But the power balance totally shifted towards Alysanne and her sons.
And Alysanne's sons, Aegon and Aemon, they were adults now.
Grown men. Bitter rivals to Rhaenyra's Valyrian sons. Aegon, the eldest, was convinced the throne was his birthright. He married his own sister, Helaena, and they had children. Jaehaerys, Jaehaera, Maelor, solidifying their line of succession.
More heirs. And Aegon himself, what was he like?
Sources hint he wasn't the most savory character, liked his wine, maybe other pursuits too, not exactly the image of a noble king-in-waiting, perhaps.
Right. Did the succession issue flare up again before Viserys died?
It did. In 126 AC, over Driftmark, the Valyrian seat, Lord Corlys, the Sea Snake, fell seriously ill on a voyage. His succession was in question.
And Rhaenyra's eldest son, Jaehaerys, was his named heir, right? Through Laenor.
Correct. But Corlys's nephew, Sir Vaemon Valerian, challenged it. Openly. Stood up in court and called Rhaenyra's sons bastards, denounced Jace's claim.
Oof. Directly challenging the king's decree. How did that go down?
Swiftly and brutally. Daemon Targaryen, Rhaenyra's husband now, had Vaemon seized immediately, executed him. Some say fed his body to Rhaenyra's dragon, Syrax.
Jeez, and Viserys.
Viserys, though weak, was enraged by the challenge to his grandson's legitimacy. He reportedly had the tongues of Vaemon's remaining family members pulled out for repeating the claim, doubling down, even in his frailty.
So, tension's still incredibly high. Did Viserys try one last time to fix things?
He did. In 127 AC, he hosted a supper, trying to make peace between the Greens and the Blacks, had them wear each other's colors, exchange apologies, toasts, kisses.
A reconciliation feast? Did it work?
On the surface, maybe for an hour, but sources like Mushroom say it was all a performance. Later that night after the king left, Aemon One-Eye made that cutting toast to his nephews as 3 strong boys. Aegon and Jace almost fought over a dance. The peace was paper-thin, utterly fragile.
So the divisions were just too deep by then.
It seemed that way. Viserys retreated more after that, ruled from his bed, relied heavily on Otto Hightower. And then, on the 3rd day of the 3rd moon, 129 AC, he died.
How did it happen?
Peacefully, it seems, in his sleep. After telling his story to Helena's children, his grandchildren, he was 52, reigned for 26 years. The amiable king. It's quite something, isn't it? How a king who seemed to genuinely desire harmony, Viserys, ended up making choices out of love for his daughter, maybe out of a desire to avoid conflict in the moment that just deepened the divides.
Yeah, like trying to keep a lid on a boiling pot.
Exactly. He managed it while he was alive, mostly, but the pressure underneath was just immense. Once he was gone, that lid was off.
And that's it. The king is dead. The stage is perfectly set. All the players are in their positions. All the resentments are simmering. All the precedents have been either set or broken. The last restraint is gone.
The dance is ready to begin.
So we've traced it all the way back, haven't we? From Jaehaerys' long peace and his first succession dilemma.
Through the Great Council and that iron precedent.
To Viserys' reign, the rise of Rhaenyra, the arrival of Alysanne and her sons, all those personal rivalries, the tragedies of 120 AC.
Yeah, seeing how each step, each choice, each death chipped away at the peace. Ambition, love, duty, perceived slights, pure chance. It all just conspired, really.
So now you have, hopefully, a much clearer picture of the deep currents running beneath this incredibly famous conflict. It wasn't just a simple fight over who should rule. It was how they ruled, how they lived, the human drama.
Absolutely. The context is everything.
Which leads us to a final thought for you to chew on, knowing everything we've just laid out. Is there one single decision, one moment where Jaehaerys or Viserys could have chosen differently and truly averted the Dance of the Dragon?
Or was it just inevitable? Baked into the system, the personalities, the precedents, as maybe some of those maesters believed.
Something for you to think about until our next deep dive.